Well, good Thursday evening, everyone. Welcome to Weather Worries. Of course, we have a lot to talk about in that aspect of things tonight. Hello to everyone watching live on the KTAL Now app, as well as those joining in on my Facebook page, Todd Warren Weather. Coming up tonight, a full docket as actually packed. I hope I can get it all in, to be honest with you. It's grain of salt night. We'll show you that as well. And you can see the pretty sunsets that occurred around the area today, as we did see the morning clouds give way to the afternoon sunshine as temperatures again well above normal. Here's what's coming up tonight. We are looking at another quiet day tomorrow for the most part in our area as temperatures will return to the low to middle 80s. Looking ahead to tomorrow night, there is a possibility after midnight tomorrow night that we could see some strong storms move across the northern sections of the area. We'll have another chance for severe weather Saturday. We'll take a break from that aspect of things, though rain's still a good possibility Sunday and Monday. I'll show you the details on that coming up as well. And middle of the week, that big upper level low is still forecast to head our way. Models not quite as doesn't look as bad now as it did yesterday, but still, we'll have to keep an eye on that system. I'll show you the latest from SPC on that. Of course, today is Thursday. It's drought monitor day. I'll show you the latest on changes. It has gotten worse. You'll see that clearly when we get to that point. And of course, there could be good news in tonight's grain of salt 45-day outlook. And you'll see why I say that coming up in about 20 minutes or so. If you have a question or a comment, if you're watching on my Facebook page, Todd Warren Weather, feel free to ask away. If you just want to say hello, Todd, that's great too, as it is tradition to begin things with our hellos. So let's do that before we get going here. And let's see, Brian, as usual, is first on board tonight. Hello there, Brian. Betty, hello to you. Lewis, good evening. Aaron and WCOK, hello. Carol, we have seen worse. I'll put it that way. Severe weather is possible. And I did look at the evening run of the ACRRR, which now will see most of this for Saturday. And it's pretty much in line in terms of intensity with Futurecast. And I'll show you what Futurecast is showing. Rusty, good evening. Friday Eve, amen. Aaron says the rain bypass. Yeah, it went to your north, Aaron, as I mentioned last night. We really didn't see that stuff west of here make its way very far to the east, and it kind of fell apart before it moved into our area. Bonnie, hello to you as well. All right, let's get going here, and you can see the weather worry index, hence weather worries. I put it at 4 out of 10. Gonna have to keep an eye on Tuesday, but for this weekend, tomorrow night, probably 3. Saturday, probably 3. We are looking at a few scattered reports of severe weather that will be possible. Wind and hail looks like they're going to be our biggest concerns. An isolated tornado can't be ruled out. But as you'll see here with Futurecast, and I think I did put the ACRRR data in there as well, that risk is looking somewhat low, but again, it's not zero. And again, we could see a better chance with that upper level system coming in Tuesday night and Wednesday. And models really haven't not changed at all as far as how much rain we might receive. As far as temperatures today, 83, a little bit cooler today in Shreveport, 84 degrees. The high temperature in Texarkana, 83 degrees also. The high temperature in Marshall. Danette looks like probably, as I mentioned, we've seen worse, and I'll show you the details as I just explained here in a couple minutes ago. Meantime, here's the current weather pattern. Here's the trough, which is going to move to our north tomorrow and tomorrow night, bringing us another shot for some thunderstorms. And then there's that big, it's going to push on through, and we'll see the front associated with this very slowly inch its way south during the weekend, and it's going to be the trigger for those weekend thunderstorms. So let's roll through the surface map here. This will take us through Monday, and you can see that low gathering itself and that front gradually moving our way here. And as we get into Saturday morning, it will be entering the northwestern part of the area, and it'll slowly sag to the south, and the focus of the thunderstorms will gradually shift to the south as well during the day on Saturday. And then we'll see it stall out, but we'll continue. Notice the rain Sunday morning west of us. That rain is gradually going to spread eastward into the southern half of the area during the day Sunday. Very well could take a bit of a break, and then we could see some more showers and thunderstorms, although not quite as many impact our area on Monday. And again, I pointed this out last night. This is the low associated with the disturbance that's coming in Tuesday night and Wednesday. So it's going to have to hightail it over here if it's going to make it here in time. Anyway, let's give you an up-close and personal view. Brad and WCOK, hello. Aaron says you got missed by the rain last night, but never fear, it's still coming. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast, and you'll see the timing of things here. And tonight, basically another, what we've seen the last couple of nights, the clouds gradually increase overnight. We become mostly cloudy. We start the morning with clouds, some afternoon sunshine tomorrow. Another thing you'll notice tomorrow, it might be a bit more windy than we've seen in the last couple of days. We could be looking at gusts that exceed 30 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. And then watch the northern parts of the area heading into and through Friday night. After midnight, we'll see those thunderstorms skirt. Basically, if you draw the Arkansas-Louisiana line east-west, most of the storms Friday night will occur in that part of the area. And it does look, SPC does have a slight risk for those storms. And then heading into Saturday, you can see the storms trying to develop, although remaining scattered further south, closer to I-20. We'll see another band of thunderstorms move across the northern part of the area. And those storms south of Shreveport Saturday evening also could pose a risk for maybe some hail as well as some damaging winds. And you can see heading through Sunday, the heavier rain should be to our south. We'll see more showers than thunderstorms on Sunday. The rain temporarily ends Sunday night, and then Monday you can see another shot for some scattered activity, but nothing really earth-shattering as far as rain on Monday. It doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as much as we will receive here from Friday night through Saturday night. All right, so that's what it looks like as far as timing. Again, two concerning time frames. The first will be after midnight tomorrow night, southwest Arkansas, northeast Texas, and of course McCurtain County. And then Saturday afternoon through, say, late Saturday night, Saturday evening, we'll see basically from I-30 and points south, probably more south, as far as the threat of severe weather there. Now, you just saw a Futurecast. This is the latest from the ACE-RRR model. You can kind of compare the two, and you can see the ACE-RRR, again, afternoon sunshine, few thunderstorms try to skirt across the northern edge of the area. You can see the increase in the scattered activity in the northern sections of the region and how that will increase. Now, here comes the front, and this is where we're going to have the wind issues with the ACE-RRR. So assuming that this is correct, again, it is much stronger than Futurecast is indicating, as well as far as more numerous, much more of a solid line. But wind probably would be the biggest concern with this, maybe some pockets of hail, although the ACE-RRR didn't show a whole lot of quarter-sized hail. And you can see how things kind of weaken a little bit as it moves to the south, but still that front right about in here, basically from Winfield to Mansfield to looks like between Henderson, actually looks like it's south of Nacogdoches. So right in here is where that front is going to be located. So East Texas, Northwest Louisiana, probably the peak time will be afternoon, evening. So again, this is newer model information than what Futurecast, what I just showed you. So this just came in. So it does show that line associated with the front moving into the northern sections of the area Saturday morning and then gradually spreading to the south. And that's as far out as the latest run of the ACE-RRR goes. So here's what SPC has as far as risks. Does have the slight tomorrow night for basically the northwestern sections of the area. A little bit of enhanced, but I'm not really seeing much in the models that shows that much a widespread severe weather as of right now, but something to keep an eye on, Brad and Aaron up there in WCOK. And then Saturday, you can see everything shifts to the south, that level 2 slight risk for the southeastern 2/3 of the area, basically south of Interstate 30 is where and probably in the morning up here, in the afternoon, as I mentioned, East Texas and Northwest Louisiana. All right, let's talk about the impacts. And again, we'll start you off tonight and you'll see the various colors pop in here. And again, orange is 35, red is 40 to 50, and browns are 50 to 60. So you can see this takes us through Friday night and Saturday morning. Futurecast doesn't really have a whole lot as far as those stronger gusts. So it's being optimistic that we may not see that much wind. And then you can see we go through Saturday and Saturday night, a little bit of an uptick with the wave Saturday afternoon north and not much further to the south. This is actually weaker up here and similar to what I showed during the early newscasts with Futurecast in terms of the wind. As far as the next aspect, let's go to rotation. And again, we'll go through that first wave that moves through the north tomorrow night. You can barely see a little bit here. And the HRRR is showing something very similar. Again, a few rotations will be possible with that line as it comes in. And you can see the uptick as that line moves south. And notice that we're on the low end of the spectrum. Get more concerned when we start seeing the oranges, reds, and blues. So what this tells me is that the tornado risk this weekend is looking low, but it is not zero. An isolated tornado or two will be possible. And it could happen, as you can see here, pretty much anywhere across the area, depending on the timing of things. So the hail aspect of, well, this is the HRRR, and its depiction of rotation. And you can see as that line moves south, those weak rotating swaths show up. So it does look like the storms, according to the HRRR, could be a bit stronger across the northern part of the area. So that's kind of a comparison between the two, but both models are very similar in terms of intensity. Hail, okay, the pinks here, relatively small hail. Put this into motion. You can see a little bit of hail with the storms tomorrow night across the north. And then we'll add Saturdays. You can see a little bit of black in here. So it is possible we could have that report or two of some quarter-sized hail. The HRRR didn't really show that much in our area as far as the quarter-sized. But nonetheless, it is going to be a possibility. All right, let me pause here, see who else has joined in. Anita, howdy. Eric says it's now 73 degrees in Colbert, Oklahoma, west of the Arklatex. You have rain. We all have rain, Eric. Everybody's going to get some rain. And Eric is, I can picture that. Brad, you're sitting on the front porch, crickets just a chirping. Can you calculate the temperatures based on, no, I'm just kidding. Let's see, 73 degrees. That's a nice temperature to be sitting on the porch there, Brad. All right, let's take you out longer range here, and this is where we're going to get into the rainfall aspect of things. And you can see that upper level low, how it develops, cuts off here over Baja, and then gradually makes that trek towards the east. This is a bit slower. This is the GFS afternoon run. It is a bit slower. Doesn't really show a whole lot for Tuesday and brings it in basically Thursday. So that's something new. Other models still showing late Tuesday night, Wednesday. So there's still room to change things for Tuesday, but that's definitely something worth watching. SPC still has the slight risk for pretty much the same area as yesterday. This may change some, to be honest with you, in the coming days, depending on the timing of that upper level low. We very well could see this move to Wednesday. And the way it looks right now, I would say maybe just a little bit better chance for severe weather than what we have this weekend. And maybe a little bit better chance for a few tornadoes. Wednesday, again, as of right now, they do not have a risk area for Wednesday. I think you will see some color on this map before we get to Wednesday. All right, so now let's switch gears and talk rainfall. And this is last week's drought monitor, and you're going to see some changes in the oranges here. This beige will go away, and you're going to see more red as I switch this to this week. So this is last week. Here comes this week. 3, 2, 1. So you can see how this filled in of all orange. We got the red here and more red up here across the north. So again, oops. Boy, I'm glad I don't have... Oh, I do. Oh, just a second. I have my clicker upside down, so I hit the wrong button. Just give me a second. So again, let me do that again. And you can see that this is last week's, and you can see how the reds have popped on. So most of the Arklatex is now experiencing at least severe drought, and the amount of extreme drought is growing. So we need to get some rain, and I have good news on that front. You can see a 7-day outlook from the Weather Prediction Center still shows 4 to over 5 inches. The reds are 5 to 6, oranges are 4 to 5. So all of us, good shot. We get at least 4 inches during the next week. This will take us through Thursday, so that will cover all the disturbances coming in that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. You can see that Blenda models, very similar, 4 inches south. Notice it has these darker reds here. That's over 6. So again, it's possible we could get more than that 5 inches. Let's take you out a couple of weeks. You're not going to see much difference in this, as we really don't have much rain after that upper level low moves by. The GFS ballistic with the rain in DeQueen, that's probably an outlier. But notice how everything else is really tightly packed in a certain range at any particular location. It does look like the rain's going to be heaviest over the northern half of the area. So again, 2 weeks, not much different than what we expect to see here in the next 10 days. So this would be good news. Keep in mind, in a 2-week period, as I mentioned last night, 2 to 2.5 inches is what we normally get this time. This is the wettest part of the year. So it's going to be important that we get as much rain as we possibly can. We don't want to go 3 weeks in April like we have been doing without any rain whatsoever. That would be very bad for summer. Will that happen? This will take us almost through the first 3 weeks. Now, as you look at these numbers, keep in mind 4 to 5 inches of that's going to happen in the next 10 days. All right, so the month that follows, it looks like we would get something that's close to normal. Okay, so typically we get about in April closer to 5 inches than 4 inches. So if we get 4 in Shreveport, that means the EPS ensembles, which go out through the 19th of April, say we're going to get another 5 inches. All right, so it's been a while since we've seen these bars this much above average. You can see how the average has gone up. Now, in this time, next 6 weeks, it's average to get 7, almost 7.5 inches. So we better get that rain. That's all I'm saying. But the good news is models have been very consistent on the rain that's coming. And it looks like it very well could continue. Although we will see, I think it's week 4 of this 6 weeks below normal rainfall. The rest of the weeks near or above normal, which is, of course, good news. So good news on the rain front. Let's switch to temperatures. And this is the look at the next 2 weeks. And you can see that we will stay warm until that upper level low goes by. And then we kind of chill out a little bit. Notice 69 for the high temperature as we head, that would be, I guess, St. Patrick's Day. Most nights in the 50s and 60s, and most days in the 70s and 80s. So it looks like the warmest temperatures in the next 2 weeks will be tomorrow. All right, here is a look at the GFS ensembles, and they are showing much of the same, warm until that upper level low moves by, but the GFS ensembles warm us right back up into the mid-80s by the time we get to that St. Patrick's Day week, and a little bit of a cool down late in the period. But notice, someone asked me today, are we done with winter? I said, define winter. Am I going to have to build a fire again? No, you're probably not, as this will take us again to the 19th of March, as it's looking unlikely that we will see another freeze, but it's not yet set in stone just yet. Let's give you some evidence that it is unlikely. Here's the 45-day outlook as far as low temperatures. And just to explain, in case you're just tuning in for the first time here with me showing this, the black line here, this is normal. And keep in mind, as we go through each week, the normals are going up. The length of the bar is basically is determined by how much or below normal that week will be. So even though you can see the bar at April 12th is 55, but it's shorter than the 55 on the week ending March 16th. That's because 55 is almost normal. All right, so it does look like we will see well above normal here for the next 2 weeks. And then you can see a little bit closer to normal, but staying above normal as we close out March. The EPS ensembles did show below normal average temperatures slightly for the week ending in the middle of April. So that would mean lows in the middle 50s. So it looks like most nights we will see lows in the 50s. And as far as daytime highs, this looks pretty nice. Notice 78. That is 7 degrees above normal for this week. All right, so this week the average high temperature is 71. And so you can see that by the time we get to April 19th, the average high is 78. That's how quickly we start to warm up quicker as we move into March and April. So again, it looks like most of the next 6 weeks will feature above normal temperatures in both Shreveport and Texarkana. Here's Texarkana, and you can see the lows all above normal, very similar to Shreveport relative to normal. A little bit below normal that final week of the 6-week period, and you can see the average high temperatures pretty much low to middle 70s here for the next 6 weeks. Now, does this mean it's going to be 75 every day the week of April 5th? No, that's an average. So we might have one day where it's 65 for the high and another day where it's 85. You average those out, that's where the 75 comes. So we're going to have some cool snaps, obviously, but it will all average out for the most part a bit above normal. All right, I've rambled there. Let's see. Brad says a nice breeze there now. Yeah, that's that south wind. Sarah in Brooklyn, hello. I'll look at your temperatures here in a second. I've been thinking about it, Betty. It depends on how things look. If I don't show up, that means I'm not too concerned. So I'm kind of on the fence on that. So we'll see. Sarah says it's raining in Brooklyn right now. Michelle, basically slight risk for late tomorrow night and Saturday, especially in the morning. Wind and hail, the biggest concerns. Tornado risk's not zero, but it is looking low for all of our area. I know, Sarah, you had a very bad winter. While you're here, and before I get going, let me switch over and take a look at your numbers. I did have that popped up here. So any more rain for Sarah? You mentioned the rain today. Looks like you're dry for a while. Might see some towards the end of next week, and especially the end of next weekend, as it looks like St. Patrick's week is looking a bit soggy. You could get a good inch during that week. And as far as your temperature, Sarah, 40s tomorrow. You'll be in the mid-60s by the end of the weekend, which sounds pretty nice. Let me look at a different model here. There we go. Yeah, low to middle 60s this weekend through the middle of next week. You'll cool to the 40s for highs next Friday, and then most of the period will feature highs in the 50s. Coldest night will be March 19th at 33. Warmest day this coming Tuesday, 67. So that's what Sarah in Brooklyn, New York, who occasionally tunes in, will be getting in her neck of the woods. All right, let's move on to the forecast here as it's getting late. I knew I had a lot to get in. So tonight we'll see the clouds increase, but we likely stay dry. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s across the northern part of the area, 68 in Texarkana, 67 tonight in Shreveport. Tomorrow, most of us will stay dry as we'll see temperatures back into the low to middle 80s across the north, 84 in Texarkana, 82 degrees. And notice very low rainfall chances for most of that part of the area. Again, very low in East Texas and Northwest Louisiana, where highs will mainly be in the mid-80s, including 83 degrees in Shreveport. And here's my 10-day forecast that shows the rain on the way this weekend, a little bit of a downturn Tuesday night, Wednesday, the way it looks right now. We could see more strong to severe storms. And then we try to dry out some as we head towards next weekend as temperatures recover back up close to 80 by the beginning of next weekend. Well, that will do it for me tonight. Again, time is running short, but I can't let you go with my attempt at a little bit of humor. We're going to do it Karnak style again tonight, Johnny Carson style. You know, the old garb that he had. So the envelope has basically he gives the answer and reveals the question. The answer is walk. Ed McMahon goes, walk. He opens up the envelope and it says, what do you call a fly with no wings? And that will officially do it for me tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you tuning in, and looks like the stream worked again tonight. Yay, on the KTAL Now app. I am recording that if you want to watch it again, although I don't know why you would want to. If you missed something, you can catch it on your TV on the app here in about 10-15 minutes or so. So until maybe tomorrow night, but probably until Monday, we will see the storms. I'll take a look at tomorrow, maybe come back tomorrow night with another live update. But if I don't, I'll be back here on Monday. So have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Good night.